Hello and welcome. My name is Alan and we are back with Congressional Donors Part 22. Let's go ahead and hop into this. At the top we have TJ Cox. He's 57-year-old and he represents the 21st District of California. He is a Democrat, and he is serving his first term in the U.S. House of Representatives. He graduated with a Bachelor's of Science from the University of Nevada in Reno, Nevada, graduated with an MBA from Southern Methodist University in Dallas, Texas, was an engineer, a nonprofit executive, had an unsuccessful candidacy for the U.S. Congress, and then finally was elected to the U.S. House. His House committees are the Committee for Agriculture and the Committee for Natural Resources. Now, his top 5 individual donors. At the top, we have Wilson Sonsini et al. Wilson, Sonsini, Goodrich, and Rosati is a U.S. law firm that specializes in business, securities, and intellectual property law. They are headquartered in Palo Alto, California, and they donated $23,050. Next is the Democracy Engine, a web-based platform for organizations that fundraise for candidates and causes. And they donated $17,968. Next is McCormick Sheep and Grain, a ranch that produces sheep, grains, and beans, based in Rio Vista, California. They donated $17,110. At number 4, we have Strategic Development Solutions, a financial management company that creates business and investment strategies as well as provides economic opportunity in low-income communities. And they are headquartered in Los Angeles, California. They donated $16,800. And last, we have United for a Strong America. I couldn't find much info on them, but they are a leadership PAC based in Los Angeles, California. They donated $16,075. Now, his top 5 industry donors. At the top, we have retired. Good. They donated in total $339,091. Next is Democratic Liberal Groups. They donated in total $248,021. Next is Lawyers and Law Firms. They donated in total $226,968. Next is Leadership PACs. They donated in total $216,033. And lastly, we have Securities and Investment, which altogether donated $187,907. And once again, that was T.J. Cox of California. Next is Angie Craig. She's 48-year-old and represents the 2nd District of Minnesota. She is a Democrat and is serving her first term in the U.S. House of Representatives. She graduated with a Bachelor of Arts from the University of Memphis in Memphis, Tennessee. She's been a journalist, a healthcare company manager, had an unsuccessful candidacy for the U.S. Congress before finally being elected to the U.S. House. Her House committees are the Committee on Agriculture, the Committee on Transportation and Infrastructure, and the Committee on Small Business. Now, her top 5 individual donors. At the top, we have Democracy Engine, a web-based platform that for organizations that fundraise for candidates and causes. And altogether, they donated $45,700. Next is Emily's List, an American PAC that aims to help get pro-choice Democratic female candidates elected. And they donated $39,270. Next is the University of Minnesota, pretty self-explanatory, and they donated $22,067. Next is the League of Conservation Voters, an American environmental advocacy group that pushes for environmental laws and policies, elects pro-environment candidates, and holds them accountable. And they donated $19,221. And last we have Medtronic Incorporated, a medical devices company that generates the majority of its sales and profits from the U.S. healthcare system, but is headquartered in Dublin, Ireland, for tax purposes. And they donated $18,950. Now, her top 5 industry donors. Retired. Again, great. They donated in total $287,858. Next is Democratic Liberal Groups. They donated in total $150,282. Next is Securities and Investment, which altogether donated $142,128. Next is Leadership PACs, which altogether donated $141,410. And lastly is Lawyers and Law Firms, which altogether donated $98,298. And once again, that was Angie Craig from Minnesota. Next person we're going to talk about is Kevin Cramer. He's 59-year-old and is a senator for North Dakota. He is a Republican, and he is serving his first term in the U.S. Senate. He graduated with a Bachelor of Arts from Concord College in Moorhead, Minnesota. Graduated with a Master's of Arts from the University of Mary in Bismarck, North Dakota. He was chairman of the North Dakota Republican Party. He was the North Dakota State Tourism Director. had an unsuccessful candidacy for the U.S. House of Representatives, was the North Dakota State Economic Development and Finance Director, had an unsuccessful candidacy for the U.S. House of Representatives again, was the North Dakota Public Service Commissioner before being elected to the U.S. House of Representatives for 3 terms, and then is finally elected to the U.S. Senate. Now, his Senate committees are the Committee on Armed Services, the Committee on Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs, the Committee on Budget, the Committee on Environment and Public Works, and the Committee on Veterans Affairs. His top 5 individual donors. At the top, we have Energy Transfer Partners. They are now legally known as Energy Transfer Operating LP, and it is a company engaged in natural gas and propane pipeline transport. It was organized in Delaware and headquartered in Dallas, Texas, and they donated $63,900. Next is the Ellison Companies, a construction company specializing in farm drainage, HDD, pipe, plowing, I guess, pipe bursting, and CIPP and engineering. They are headquartered in West Concord, Minnesota. They donated $44,850. Next is the Yancey Brothers, Caterpillar and heavy equipment dealer, and they are based in Austell, Georgia. They donated $32,400. And last is Alliance Co. Produces and markets Steenco products, supplies code power generation companies, and serves customers throughout the U.S. They are headquartered in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and they donated $32,166. Now, his top 5 industry donors. At the top, Securities and Investment, who donated a total of $486,733. Next, Oil and Gas, which altogether donated a total of $469,332. Next is Retired Good, which altogether donated $456,035. Next is Leadership Packs, which altogether donated $271,000. And finally, Real Estate, which altogether donated $204,007. And that was Kevin Cramer of North Dakota. Next, we have Mike Crapo. He's 69-year-old and is a senator from Idaho. He is a Republican and serving his 4th term in the U.S. Senate. He graduated with a Bachelor of Arts from Brigham Young University, graduated with a JD from Harvard University School of Law. He was admitted to the bar. He's been a law clerk to Judge James M. Carter. He practiced law in San Diego, then practiced law in Idaho Falls. He was vice chairman of Bonneville County Republican Committee. He was vice chair of the Legislative District 29 Republican Committee. He was an Idaho state senator before being elected to the U.S. House for 3 terms and finally being elected to the U.S. Senate. His Senate committees are the Committee of Budget, the Committees of Finance, the Committees of Judiciary, and the Committee on Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs. His top 5 individual donors. At the top, we have the Carlyle Group, an American multinational private equity and alternative asset management and financial services corporation. They are headquartered in Washington, D.C. and donated $93,800. Next is Stevens Incorporated, a privately held independent financial services firm headquartered in Little Rock, Arkansas. They donated $81,200. Next is the Capital Group, an American financial services company that ranks as one of the world's oldest and largest investment management organizations, headquartered in Los Angeles, California. And they donated $75,600. Next is Vote Sane PAC, a political action committee that seems to be bipartisan and wanting to get more citizens involved in politics. Not much more info found on them, though. They donated $74,650. And lastly is Watco Companies, a transportation company based in Pittsburgh, Kansas. They donated $66,620. Now, his top 5 industry donors. At the top, we have Securities and Investment, who altogether donated $1,019,550. Next is Insurance, who altogether donated $630,300. Next is Commercial Banks, who altogether donated $438,850. Next is Real Estate, who altogether donated $435,460. And lastly is Lobbyists, who altogether donated $375,485. And once again, that was Mike Crapo of Idaho. My apologies. Of Idaho. The last person we're going to talk about today, Rick Crawford. He is 54-year-old and represents the 1st District of Arkansas. He is a Republican, and he is serving his 5th term in the U.S. House of Representatives. He went into the U.S. Army. He then graduated with a Bachelor of Science from Arkansas State University in Jonesboro, Arkansas. He's been a journalist, a business owner, before being elected to the U.S. House of Representatives. His House committees are the Committee on Agriculture, the Committee on Transportation and Infrastructure, and the Select Committee on Intelligence. Now, his top 5 individual donors. At the top, we have Nucor Corporation, an American producer of steel and related products, headquartered in Charlotte, North Carolina. They donated $11,750. Next is American Crystal Sugar, a national producer of sugar based in Minnesota, and they produced $10,000. Donated $10,000. Next is, I swear I can't read my own handwriting, Corp, I believe. An American holding company focused on rail transportation and real estate in North America. And they are headquartered in Jacksonville, Florida. They donated $10,000. Next is Farm Credit Council, the National Trade Association of the Farm Credit System, a U.S. network of borrower-owned cooperative lending institutions and service organizations, headquartered in Washington, D.C. They donated $10,000. And last is Majority Committee PAC, a political action committee with little more info found. And they also donated $10,000. Now, his top 5 individual donors. At the top, we have Crop Production and Basic Processing, which altogether donated $138,000. Next is Railroads, which altogether donated $39,000. Next is Agricultural Services and Products, which altogether donated $36,750. Next is Steel Production, which altogether donated $30,850. And finally, Retired Good, which altogether donated $30,075. And that was Rick Crawford of Arkansas. That's going to be everybody we talk about in today's video. As always, educate thyself. Think, read, study, learn. If anyone tries to tell you something you have trouble believing, ask them to cite their sources. I'll try to have the sources for this in the description below. But for now, I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, later.